And former GOP presidential nominee Mitt Romney is raising a lot of eyebrows. He appears ready to run for yet another presidential campaign. But many in his party are wondering why. What's going to be the difference this time around? To help us answer those and many other questions about Romney's possible candidacy, we turn to Cameron Joseph, who is a campaign reporter for The Hill. Hi, Cameron. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
So tell me, what reaction are you getting from your sources on Capitol Hill to Mitt Romney's announcement or admission that he's seriously considering running again?
Well, I think it's ranging from confusion to bafflement. I think most of the folks, even some of Romney's closer allies, were not expecting this. I think some of them are still skeptical that he's going to make a run, and some of the people who think he might make a run aren't quite sure how well he's going to do in a much more crowded and much more skilled field this time around.
You know, and I think perhaps many would be surprised. I'm wondering if you're surprised, because he seemed very specific and resolute as recently as last year, saying, I'm not going to do it, I'm never going to do it, my family doesn't want me to do it. His wife said he's not going to do it. Is it surprising that he has perhaps waffled?
Yeah, it's a big surprise. I think he was, people were joking about Romney flip-flops again, but he really didn't show any interest in this, and really there were only a few folks right around his inner circle who really thought he might. And, including some of the people who went to this big event where he basically said, tell your friends I'm really thinking about it. Some of those folks were people who have already committed to other candidates and had no idea that announcement was going to come. So, even some of Mitt's closer staffers, some of them have landed with Jeb Bush already. Some of his big donors have already signed up with Jeb Bush or Chris Christie. And I think that this really caught a lot of people by surprise, and it's going to be pretty hard for him to come in the same way that he did last time around as the front runner.
Yeah, that surprise notwithstanding, this recent poll by Town Hall and Graves Marketing has Mitt Romney on top, 21 points, Jeb Bush behind him, 7 points at 14, Scott Walker at 10, Mike Huckabee at 9, Rand Paul at 8, Ted Cruz at 7, and Chris Christie even farther down than that. So I have a two-pronged question in about a minute for you to answer it, and that is, what does Mitt Romney have to do to convince donors that he is a horse worth betting on, and what does he have to do differently with his campaign to convince voters that he is a horse worth betting on?
Well, I think he's going to be able to raise some serious money. He's still got a lot of donors interested and folks who are close to him. The big thing is a lot of folks in the donor class and in the party generally didn't think he ran that good a race last time around. He had trouble putting down some second-tier opponents in the primary. He struggled against President Obama. Some Republicans are still angry. They think that was a winnable race and think that he blew it. And so there's a lot of skepticism both from the Republican base and from voters in general. So he's really facing a tough situation. And that poll, I really think, is more about people knowing him and name identification more than how he's actually going to do.
And do you think that he'll be able in this go-round to learn the lesson of relating to the common man, if you will? One conservative senator said this, what we know about Romney last time is he lost the election with working Americans. Among those making $30,000 to $50,000, he lost by 15%, lost by 28% for those making under $30,000. We all remember the comments that he made that were considered to be insensitive of the average working person, like he enjoys firing people when running corporation. Is that a part of his DNA? Can he change that narrative about himself?
I think you can change the outfit, but you can't change the person. And he did a lot of things that he was trying to appeal to the working man, but that 47% comment really hurt him, some of the other things that you just mentioned. And he's a very wealthy guy. He was brought up with a lot of privilege. It's kind of hard to shake that. And frankly, both he and Jeb Bush are going to have to prove that they can relate to the common man. I think Jeb Bush has shown that he can a little bit better than Romney in his history. And Romney's run for president twice already. Third time may be the charm, but he's spent a lot of time trying to learn to be a better candidate, and I think a lot of folks are kind of tired of giving him the time to get better.
It's going to give us a lot to talk about for a long time. We'll leave it there for now. Cameron Joseph, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
And you're watching Arise America.